What's going on, everyone? I'm Dan Bennett, and today you are going to learn the best way to absorb business books, in my humble opinion. Stick around.
Hi, my name is Dan. Welcome to a place where we take cool and useful information from the internet, from our own minds, from industry professionals, and even from you, the viewers. Mix those ingredients with filmmaking, entrepreneurship, gear reviews, special guests, and even life hacks. And what do you get? Welcome to the Take and Give Show.
Hey everyone, welcome back. I'm Dan Bennett, founder and creative director at DNA Design Company and host of the Take and Give Show. This is episode 7. Okay, so on the last episode we went over my top 10 business books and the fact that I love them because they're data and scientifically driven. That sparked some conversation with some of you guys, which led to me talking about exactly how I absorb books. And through a couple of those conversations, people found it very unique or just kind of interesting how I absorb books. So in today's episode, I'm gonna tell you guys exactly how I do that. So when I begin my journey of absorbing a business book, it all starts right here on my smartphone. I prefer to start with audiobooks. I'm in the car all the time for business, traveling all over the place, and it's a really easy way for me to absorb books. Now, you can do this when you're at the gym, when you're taking a jog, before you go to bed. That's a great thing about audiobooks is they kind of go with you wherever you are, and you don't necessarily have to carve out time to sit there and put a book right in front of your face. My preferred app is audiobooks.com, and I am affiliated with them. So if you happen to use the link in the description below and sign up, I'll get a little bit of a kickback. But I tried all the apps before I finally came to the conclusion that audiobooks.com was best for me. The way that you can search business books, absorb them, go chapter by chapter and all those sorts of things, it just works really, really well for business books for me. So that's why I recommend audiobooks.com as my preferred app. So let's dive in and I'll show you exactly why I love it. So I'll launch audiobooks.com, and right away you'll see all the books that I've purchased and they stay in my library. Profit First, Good to Great, Get Scrappy. You'll recognize all these as the books I talked about in the last episode. But the real reason I love this app so much is right up here. If you go into the hamburger menu and you browse, you can see that there's free books, biographies, business and economics, comedy, all these different categories. So let's go ahead and check business and economics. When you drive in, you can browse all, career development, economics, instructional, management and leadership. You can see all these subcategories of business, which makes it really easy to search. Let's check one out here, marketing and advertising. So we drive into that, and right off the bat you can see Persuasion, The Science of Selling. These are books that I talked about on the last episode that are available when you drive into marketing and advertising. You can sort these books by highest rated, best selling this month, A to Z. Let's look at recently added. So when we go in here, you can see these are the kind of latest additions to marketing and advertising business books on this app. If we go into the top right one here, customer success, you can see there's a little play button there. And when you play that, you get like a 3 to 5 minute sample so you can see not only what the book's about, but what the reader sounds like. You can get a feel for the book before you decide to buy it. And that's one of my favorite parts, is just the search functionality in this app is really geared towards someone who's trying to find something very specific. So that's the app and some of the reasons that I love it. Now I'm going to talk about the actual process that I use, because it's a little bit unconventional, but it works so well for me that I was thinking maybe some of you guys would benefit from doing it this way as well. So let's dive into that now. All right, so I'm going to try and quickly walk you through the process of how I absorb a business book front to back. We talked about audiobooks being a preference, and that's because I drive everywhere for business. Meetings, production shoots, I'm all over the Midwest, all over Michigan, and it's nice to be able to start to absorb a book while I'm doing something I have to do anyway, which is drive all over the place. So the first thing is to listen to it while I'm in the car. It's really nice to have the flexibility of taking your book anywhere you go. My preference is to do it while I drive. Okay, so after I've listened to an audio book from front to back, my next step, and this is where some of you guys found it intriguing, the way that I absorb books, is to actually go online. Generally I use eBay, and I love using Goodwill Industries because they get books given to them all the time, and they have a very strong eBay presence, so you can get a lot of great books at a very reduced price. So generally I start there, look on eBay and find a physical version of the book that I just listened to, and I'll order it up. So when I get the physical copy in, I listen to the audiobook again and then read along. And for me, that just kind of like drives home all the main points and the processes and systems and anything that's in the book that I'm trying to absorb. And while I do that, I actually make notes on my giant whiteboard and fill that thing up. And then when I'm done, I take a snapshot, a digital photo of that whiteboard, and that becomes kind of my highlighted book. So instead of having to go find my book and find that page where that idea was, and hopefully I highlighted it, I can just look at a picture of my whiteboard and know everything that stood out to me, that was important to me, especially if it was a system or process of some sort. Steps 1 through 5 are all written out, they're right there, and I can just grab that photo and reabsorb that information just like that. So that's the way I absorb business books, and in my opinion, it's a pretty great way to do it. So why don't you guys try it out? Use the referral link below, get your free trial, listen to a book, maybe buy a used version of that book, and then listen again while you read along and make your notes, and let me know how it works for you, because in my opinion, it is the best way to absorb a business book. All right, that's it. We've reached the end of another great episode of the Take and Give Show. Give us a thumbs up. Share this episode, subscribe, and if you subscribe, make sure to ring that bell so you get notifications every time we put out a brand new episode. And while I'm asking you for favors, why not check out the last episode where I talk about my top 10 business books based on data and science and why you should read them. Whew, that was a lot of information, guys. Thanks for sticking around and checking out this episode. I'm Dan Bennett, founder and creative director at DNA Design Company and host of this Take and Give Show. We'll see you next time.